Language Center. So today we're going to talk about studying in UK and Germany. Diana, maybe we can wait for people to join, then we can start.
All right, we will wait for another 10 minutes before starting the webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Yoon, can you give, please, Shan the...
Hi.
Hi, Shan. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure for us.
Hello.
Hi, Sinima.
Hello.
Good, and you?
Yeah, I'm good too.
Nice
Yeah,
to
thanks
have
for
you.
inviting me.
It's a pleasure for us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Adil, also, and welcome. So we're
Thank
gonna
you.
just wait 3 minutes for people to join. And also, by the way, we are also live on YouTube channel, UK Language Center. So Diana, should we start now or?
I think yeah, we can start now because but like if you want to wait for a couple of minutes for waiting the participants, I think it's alright as well. But I think we can start.
Okay, Yoon also ready. So if there is any comments or something, maybe we can figure out at the end of our meeting.
Okay. Hi everyone. I would like to say thank you so much for being here tonight. And I know in Malaysia time it's quite late, it's 10 p.m. So I understand why we don't have that much of a participants tonight, but it's okay. But for those who attend, I would like to say thank you very much. So before we start, we would like to thank our fellow audience for your time, and we hope that everyone will gain valuable knowledge at the end of this webinar. And for your consent, this webinar will be carried out for 1.5 hours, which is from 10 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. And we will have the webinar starting with a sharing session from the speaker who have studied in Germany and UK. And after the sharing session, we will have a Q&A session. So if you want to ask any questions to the speakers on how to apply to study at UK or Germany, you can do so. And we will also have a photography session at the end of this program. All right, without further ado, let me invite the speakers to introduce themselves. Can we have Mr. Adnan to introduce himself?
Okay, so my name is Adnan. So today I will talk about my experience on study in Germany. I study MBA in International Trade in Anhalt University of Applied Science. So, and today I'm ready to answer all your questions about study in Germany. And so I will give the microphone maybe to Sirimar.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, my name is Surima. I just graduated from Imperial College London. So I went there with a scholarship from Thailand. And right now I'm in Thailand, but I'll be back in the UK in September to study a PhD at UCL in biochemical engineering. Thank you.
My turn.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Shan. Nice to meet you all. Sorry about the background. I haven't got it sorted out yet. And I've been living and studying in the UK for 5 years, and I am doing my PhD in the University of Sheffield.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shan. And for our last speaker, Mr. Adil, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, of course, with pleasure. Thank you at first for the invitation for this webinar, for providing the audience about the opportunities of studying abroad. And because I'm in Germany, I will talk a little bit and provide with the information about me. My name is Adil Bahaja. I've been living in Germany since 2012, and also the same as Adnan, I studied MBA, graduated for 2 years right now, and had the opportunity to study together with him. Yes, and I'm so happy to be in this meeting, and thank you.
Thank you so much to our fellow speakers. Without further ado, we will begin the sharing session. I will now first start with the UK edition, where I will ask Ms. Shan and Surima on their experiences and their application process when studying at UK. But I will first direct question to Ms. Shan. Ms. Shan, since you have studied in the UK for your PhD, how would you describe your daily life or daily routine as a PhD student there?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, because routine is really important for PhD students. So it requires a lot of discipline, because doing a PhD, you have a lot of freedom. You don't have to attend a lot of classes. So I used to be very disorganized, but now my daily routine looks like this. So the first thing in the morning is going to the gym. That makes me feel good about myself, feeling powerful. And then I will I will do some writing for 2 hours. In the afternoon, I will attend webinars, lectures, and read papers. In the evening, I will cook dinner and enjoy my dinner, and read books, and do some research on YouTube. That's it.
I see. Thank you, Ms. Shan. I think your daily life is a bit different from me, because when I wake up, I don't go to the gym, but so I really admire you for that, because I tried to go to gym for a while, then I stopped. So, okay, the next question is that, may we know if you also have any advice or preparation tips for those who want to pursue their PhD in the UK as well? For instance, in terms of their personal statement or resume.
Okay, I think the most important thing is, why do you want to do a PhD? And also the research proposal, and building a rapport with your potential supervisors. Because before you apply, you need to look for the opportunities. Who do you want to study with? Which university, which supervisor, which subject you're interested in. So it's really important to do that. And as for personal statement and resume, I think it's similar to applying for a job. So show them why you want to do this. Why should they accept you? show them your enthusiasm, your passion about learning, about the subject, about the university. Yeah.
All right. A follow-up question. Since there are quite many courses for PhD, how do one find their passion? Because most of the time, most students are interested to study for the PhD, but they do not know what type of PhD should they take, like, or if they should go to work first before studying PhD. And I think that many students face that dilemma, like either work or PhD, and which types of courses that they should have taken. So what are your advice on how to determine what type of courses that you want to take? Yeah.
I think this question is not very easy to answer. It depends on the person who wants to do a PhD. So again, ask yourself, why do you want to do a PhD? Do you want to follow the academia career path, or you're just confused, you don't know what to do, you want to explore? Yeah, about the PhD subject, again, you need to ask yourself, what are you interested in? Are you sure you will put all your effort onto this subject for the next 3 to 5 years? Yeah, I think that's really important, because we need a lot of patience focusing on one research area for the next 3 to 5 years. Sometimes people will lose the patience and they want to drop out. And that's also very common for PhD students to quit. I have some friends, they dropped out in their second year and third year because they just lose interest. And about working before PhD, I think that's important too. And that could be useful because people with work experience, they tend to know more about themselves. They normally know what they are looking for. For example, they want to change their career path, they want to be a university lecturer, or they're really passionate about one research area and they decide to pursue that. Yeah.
I see. Thank you, Ms. Chan. I totally agree that it actually it depends on a person. Like it doesn't matter if you need to have a job first before PhD or decided to take a job. As long as you know what you want and know what you want to focus in the PhD, then it's all right. You just need to know yourself first. Why do you decided to take that PhD? Is it just to follow the trend? Like if your fellow friends take PhD, then you also want to take PhD, then that's not really your purpose. So before deciding to have a PhD, ask yourself first, why do you even think to take PhD in the first place? I totally agree. Thank you, Ms. Chan. And now I want to ask Ms. Rima also on her experience. I would like to ask, since most of us would like to have the chance to pursue or study abroad in the future, but since we are uncertain because of the lack of awareness on how to fund ourselves and seek scholarship, maybe ask how did you manage the cost of living at UK? Is it by having a self-fund, or did you apply for any scholarships?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So as I mentioned before, that I'm a scholarship student from Thailand. So the Thai government has been sponsoring me financially for everything. So for the tuition fee and also covering the living fees as well. So yeah, that's how I've been living. But then I think it's gonna be great if we can like some scholarship to study abroad, because you don't have to worry about like all the fees and things like that. So one way to search for that, I think Facebook groups are really nice. For example, in Thailand, we have this one Facebook group. It's called something like Finding a Scholarship for Students. So everyone who has any scholarships or anything, they would post it there. Anyone who wants to get a scholarship will go there as well. So it's like a sharing environment kind of thing, that if you have scholarships, you share there, and then if you want to get any scholarship, you go there as well. So I'm pretty sure that every country might have that. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's every country has that. So maybe you guys should check it out. And maybe you could also search up on Google as well, because some universities, they also offer scholarships as well.
All right, I see. Thank you, Ms. Irma. Yeah, I agree that actually we can find a scholarship everywhere, like in our country, as long as we want to search for it. But I would like to ask a follow-up question. When did you apply for your scholarship? Did you apply for your scholarship like 1 year before you take PhD or during the same year?
So I got the scholarship actually after I finished my secondary school from Thailand. So that was even before my university started. So the scholarship was advertised by my own school that I was during my secondary school. So it was just like some scholarship that people kind of already know about it. And my seniors, they also did apply for the scholarship. So it was kind of like, I already got the knowledge about the scholarship. Yeah.
Oh, I see. You're very lucky to have like scholarship from even before you start your university life. But for instance, if there are students that do not manage to find a scholarship, but also really interested to study abroad, what are your advice to them? Like how they can fund themselves, like if they do not have the scholarship, or if they do not have the financial stability to study abroad, but they want to study abroad?
Yeah, so to give you a rough idea of how much it's gonna cost for a course, say an undergrad course in the UK, for Imperial it was £30,000. I'm not sure how much of that into local currencies, but that's quite a lot. And also for the living fees, I think around 1,500 like minimum. So that's quite a lot as well. And if you are a student, you are only allowed to work for maximum 20 hours for a week. So yeah, I think to be able to go there, you really need some saving as well, because you can't just go there and then just look for money to fund to pay for the tuition fee and for the living fee at the same time. Maybe you might be able to go there and then live there for a few years first to get some savings, and then maybe start your course later. But then I don't think it's possible to like study and then find money at the same time, because you really need to dedicate your time to the study, and then you're not allowed to work a lot if you're a student.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ms. Irma, for your answer. Now we'll proceed first with the discussion on the Germany education. And I will direct this question to Mr. Adnan first. Mr. Adnan, I would like to ask a question that I myself find interesting. Is it true that studying in Germany is free or require low cost even for a foreign student?
Thank you for the question. First of all, I want to wish for all my Chinese friends, Happy New Year, and also especially for Shan. So Happy New Year and best wishes. For your question, actually, studying in Germany is not totally free, but comparing with UK there is a big difference actually, because even if I was thinking at the beginning to go study in UK, because I want to do a master degree in English that gonna taught in English. But because I find in Germany that I can study the same MBA with gonna cost me in UK 24,000, in Germany gonna cost me only 2,000, talking about the tuition fee. So in Germany, basically, actually you can find like a master degree or a bachelor degree with only 300 euro or 600 euro per semester. But this you can find it in UK with a really high big number. And actually, this is why I choose to study in Germany, because the tuition fees is really cheap comparing with other countries. But it's not free, but kind of free, because you're gonna just pay, for example, like 70 euro per semester, or in the worst scenario, you're gonna pay 1,000 euro per semester.
I see. That's quite a big difference compared to UK cost. And I think that if a student manage to find scholarship, they basically do not need to pay anything. Yeah. But a follow-up question, since, okay, you said that mostly like it costs around 600 euro per semester. But is it the same with the cost of living at there? Like, is it also quite affordable, or is quite expensive to stay in Germany?
For costs of living, because it's different from state to state, because in Germany there are many states. So for example, like if you go Bavaria, it's gonna be a bit expensive. And also if you go big cities like Berlin, Hamburg, Frankfurt, or Köln. But if you go, for example, like some other states, it's gonna be much cheaper. Because for example, like if you're gonna rent a studio in Leipzig, it's gonna cost you 300 euro per month. The same one in Frankfurt or Berlin is gonna cost you 600 to 800 euro. So it depends on the state. So for that, like I always like advise the new students who gonna go study in Germany, just choose the state that the cost of living is lower than the other state. Don't go like big cities. Just like go maybe like city that 500,000 population, around this average actually. Because if you go Berlin, Frankfurt, Hamburg, or München, is going to be much higher.
I see. So the selection of state really plays a key point in having an affordable living in Germany as a student. Now I would like to direct the question to Mr. Adil. When you study in Germany, may I know what are the preparations that you have made before studying in Germany? For instance, the IELTS test and your GPA score, maybe. Like, what were the minimum requirement of GPA or I score for you to pursue MBA in Germany?
Well, thank you again for this question. Well, my journey with Germany started first in 2010. When at that time I graduated in Morocco with a bachelor degree in English studies, and what my dream was to come to Germany and study here. Okay, well, the dream, happened, and my journey started first with learning German language in Morocco, so that for the plan, the goals is when I arrived to Germany, that would be kind of easier in terms of finding part-time jobs. So I started learning German language at Goethe Institute in Morocco, in Casablanca. So for around 2.5 years, and 2012, or the end of 2012, I started applying for universities here in Germany. I applied for only 4 universities, and I got acceptance letters, and I choose Erlangen University, Erlangen, Nuremberg. As I mentioned, 2012, I came to Germany, and I continued learning German language. I was having, luckily, in the beginning, before arriving to Germany, I was having B2. So here in this case, I in fact did what is called DSH preparation. Well, for students, this is another topic, big topic, but I can give you quick information about it. You have 2 options. Either you come for DSH preparation. This you need to have at least you studied in your home country for at least 2 years at university, or you with baccalaureate. So in this case, this is what is called student colleague. So for my case, because I was having a bachelor degree in Morocco, I did this preparation at the University of Erlangen-Nuremberg for around 2 semesters. And later on, I started, when I finished this preparation, I started studying my degree. So I did economic. That's the one thing. And of course, studying and in the meanwhile, working for me was very important in order so that I can have the ability to finance my education and everything. So luckily here in Germany, students in general do have the opportunity to study and work in the main time. So this is why for me was the purpose of learning German languages. It makes it easier, life easier to integrate, to understand the German culture, especially, and most important thing, as I mentioned, is to find a part-time job. What was your next question, please?
I see. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Adil. I will about to ask you a question. Okay, you have said that you have studied German language before studying in Germany. To prepare during the studies as well as able to take part-time jobs. But if there are students who do not know any German language, not know at all how to speak German, but they are interested to study in Germany, then do they can still study in there? Like if they do not know any German? Yeah. Because
Yes.
personally, like most
Yes, of course. Yes, of course, for this question, especially in the last 5 years, there have been a lot of changes here in Germany. So it is not necessary, to answer your question, it's not necessary to have German language skills to come and study, because there are a lot of programs which are provided for students which are in English language. That's a good thing and good news. Just the point of in order, because so many students, when they come here, they want to finance their studies, everything by themselves. So this makes it, when you have some basic low knowledge of German language, it makes life easier for you here, for all students here in Germany, especially when summertime comes, students, they have holidays. Of course, some choose to go to their home country to spend the summertime with their family. Others say, no, I want to stay and work. And based on my experience, myself and the friends, my classmates, at the time here in Germany when I was studying, most of us would do search for jobs, because the summertime is the most important period. I can say you have time, free time, so you go and search for jobs. So here, in my opinion, so in general, there are opportunities, English programs are there, but just my advice is that if you want to come to Germany, better if you have at least, let's say, B1 level, so that you make the life easier for you.
I totally agree.
Sorry,
Especially
Diane, I just want to add something about what Adil said, because my case, it was about, I went to Germany to study without German language, actually, because at that time I have only A1, which is like A1 level, which is like just the basic, actually. And especially when you go and speak with native speaker, you don't understand anything. So it was actually at the university, you don't have a problem, everything in English. You used to speak with your colleague, no problem. But when you go outside, when you go to the job market, also, for example, if you want to work part-time jobs, because most of the students who go to Germany, especially like me, I'm not lucky like Serima, that we got a scholarship from our country, because our country doesn't provide a scholarship, actually. So we just like, we need to work part-time job and also to study. And also another thing that Adil mentions, because in Germany, they study usually from to high school 13 years. So for that, like if you come only with high school, when you finish your high school, you need to 1 year, like they call it student colleague, or like preparation before to go to university. But if you go for master degree, you study like, for example, 3 or 4 years in your country, you can go directly to a master degree without having this 1 year. So this is like the difference if you go for bachelor or master degree. For bachelor degree, it's must. Anybody actually outside Germany need to have 1 year. Is it actually 1 year for German language, and also for, if you're going to study economics, you're going to study some subjects in German language, and also for science, for biology, geology, everything actually. So for that, if a person wants to study a master degree in Germany in English, actually, you don't need the German language, actually. You just need IELTS or TOEFL, and you apply for admission. So for that, like, this is like you can study in Germany in English language without need of the German certificate. But about what Adil mentioned, actually, about the life in Germany, it's better to speak German language. If you want, for example, like I'm talking about like medium budget, if you want to go study in a country that tuition fees is really low, so, and you want to work to sponsor your cost of living or something like that, to work like part-time job. So it's better to have at least like the basic of German language to have this ability actually to work and study in the same time.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Anin, for clarifying it. And I totally agree with both Mr. Adele and Mr. Nancy that even though it's not like a valid requirement to have a good proficiency in German, but by knowing German language, it can make your life better, 100% better as a student in German. And as a follow-up question to Mr. Adil, since you were a foreign student in Germany, what were the challenges that you have faced when studying in Germany?
Well, as for the challenges, there are a lot of challenges. So when you come here, you don't find anything easy because you are alone. First thing, you are very far away from family. So first thing, of course, when you go in abroad, either Germany or other place, homesick, you get this kind of thing. So that's the first thing. It would require time. So it depends on the person, how you're going to deal with it. So that's number one. Number two is the climate. So it's very cold here during the winter time, I would say, like now. So it's kind of cold at the time. First time 2012 when he came first time here to Germany, it was spring, so I was lucky. It was just raining a lot. So this, well, coming from a country like Morocco to let's say to Germany, there have been a lot of changes, especially in terms of weather. As I mentioned, Morocco is kind of warmer in comparison to Germany. That's the first thing. Second thing, living very far away, and you have to, from family, you have to do everything by yourself. Let's say in the beginning, especially, you start to have connections like friends. It will take time, of course, for you to have these kind of connections. In general, anyone who thinks to come and study in Germany, let's say any place in the world, must make him or herself ready. First thing, most important thing is to prepare, to collect information, read about the country, the culture, and other things, which in order to avoid what is called cultural shock and all this. So it's better, as I said again, learn the language. I would say in comparison, based on my experience in comparison to other students, then when first time came here to Germany, without any knowledge of language, their life was a bit difficult. They would kind of struggle. But if you speak the language, I like mentioning this point all the time. If you come with basic language, knowledge of language, German language, then you make life easier. Why? Because, for example, small things, if you want to go to authorities for visa, for example, to the banks, open bank accounts, yes, you find people who don't speak English, but not all the times. So they prefer here to speak German language, especially to authorities. Maybe they will tell you, okay, go and bring someone with you who can interpret things for you. So make life easier, come with basic knowledge of the language, and make yourself ready, read about the country, especially and the culture of the country.
I see. Thank you so much, Mr. Adil. I agree that most of the time challenges happen because we have lack of preparation and awareness on what are the culture in other country and what are the things that are the norm at there, but we don't really use to that experiences. For instance, the weather as well as the culture and their foreign language. And I also like to thank you for emphasizing the importance of studying German. And I would like to also add that at QT we also offer language services. So if anyone wants to learn new languages before preparing for your studying abroad, and also just email us any of your inquiries for our services. To move on to the next question to Mr. Adnan, I would like to ask, what was the biggest lesson that you have learned when studying in Germany? And what are your advice for those who want to study in Germany in the future?
Actually, as Adil mentioned before, the mistake that I did, actually, I didn't learn German language well. So at the beginning, I find some difficulties, especially like when you go, for example, like you go some places where some offices where you find like people, they don't speak English, especially like maybe the young generation, they speak in English, but German, actually, they a bit not like US or UK, they are much open. The German is a bit like proud of their language. It's not a bad thing, actually, but people, they don't speak like another language than the German language. So you are in this country, you should to speak their language. So this is the mistake that I did. I didn't learn much German language. And the good things in Germany actually is like there are a lot of opportunity, especially as I said, like comparing with the cost of living, and because in Germany they give you the right to work, so they give you like 240 half day or 180 days, which means like 20 to 25 hours per week. Which I think that if you live in a small city is enough for to like maybe to work a part-time job in weekend, and you can like study. Especially like the tuition fees is really small comparing to UK. So you can like there is this chance to work and study in the same time. It's not easy, but it is for you can do it actually.
I see. Thank you so much, Mr. Adnan. We will surely take that into mind and like really studying German language before deciding to study in Germany. All right, now we will.
To add one thing, and also like in Germany, after you finish your study, they give you 18 months. So what they call it search job visa. And in this 18 months, if you have a degree in Germany, you have a right to work actually full-time with a company if they accept you or something like that. As long as you have offered job that's related with your study. For example, in my case, I have a degree in MBA, so I can work like something related with economics, management, marketing, something like that. If I found a job that's related to that, I have a right to work full-time after finishing my study. So I have 18 months after finishing my study to look for a job. So this opportunity, I think maybe Siriman and Shan can mention if also exists in UK or not.
And one point here, please. And regarding the knowledge of German language, so it is not a must. You can still come and study here, even if you find the English program. Still, it's okay. It's not that bad. Well, after you finishing and your bachelor, your master, or your PhD, you have opportunities, as Adnan mentioned and said, that you have like this 18 months. They give you the authorities visa to search for job. And there are big companies, either big international companies or even startups here in Germany. You can find also the good news, open positions they are posted which just require English language. So that's a good thing as well here in Germany. Especially now recently, there have been a lot of efforts made by here in Germany by the government, let's say, by making efforts in order to attract talents and immigrants to come and to study and work as well here, because and there are a lot of opportunities.
I see. That's actually really interesting because most of the time, like when we study at a foreign country, it does not mean that we will automatically get the permission to work at the having a work visa. So by studying in Germany, you not only get to study at there, but you also potentially get to work at there and live at there for a permanent time, possibly. So that is quite an interesting advantage of studying in Germany. Okay, right now I will proceed to the UK edition again. I would like to ask Ms. Shan on what are the relevant skills and experiences that students right now who are currently studying in their home countries before preparing for their application? Or more precisely, what are the criteria that the university recruiter or interviewer looks for in a candidate?
Yeah, I think they're looking for students with determination and passion for learning, and obviously critical analysis, critical thinking, writing skills. Those are very important. And yeah, problem solving skills. It's like applying for a job, really, as our management school the head of our management school says that treat your PhD as a job, not as a study program. Yeah, so you need a lot of determination, a lot of self-discipline, and you need to show them you have those things.
I see. Yeah, determination is really important, as well as problem-solving skills, because in order to take a postgraduate degree, especially like a PhD, you really need to be able to adapt to the challenges that comes with a PhD. But talking about this, what were the challenges that you have faced mostly when you taking your PhD, like in terms of the assignments or works or theses? What were the biggest challenges that you faced, and how did you tackle it? Thank you.
Okay, so I think this will be related to my answer in the first question. So I said that I wasn't very organized. So I had some really bad habits that I developed when I was younger. And I had to overcome this by struggling a lot. So I had a wake-up call in 2020 when I had a panic attack. And I decided I have to change myself. So by building up good habits bit by bit, you'll find yourself happier and more capable of doing difficult things. So for example, I used to, when you're doing a PhD, you don't have many deadlines, unlike master students and undergraduate students. You have a big deadline. So your PhD thesis, if you don't, if you're not careful, 2 years, 3 years will pass very quickly. And you need to set a goal in the very beginning and follow this direction and reflect every week. So for me, I thought I wasted 1 or 2 years in the beginning, but I picked myself up. And yeah, some people, they dropped out, like I said before, but I plan to stick to it. And as I'm building good habits every day, I find it easier. So be more patient. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Chan. I totally agree that we need to have a solid schedule or a plan before when starting our PhD from early on. Like, what are our plans for the next 2 years? How do we can manage all the tasks during this big deadline, so we will not forget about it or procrastinate and wait later on, which I always face as a student myself, where I often procrastinate doing my assignments. Okay, but now I will move on to Ms. Sirma. Since you will also have your PhD in September, may we know if the application process is different as compared to an undergraduate degree, and what are the qualifications that you need to meet in order to study for PhD? For example, your IELTS score, etc.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the question. So yeah, the process is not very different from the undergrad study, but in terms of the personal statement, because for undergrad and also PhD, you have to write a personal statement. What they are looking for in your personal statement is different, because for undergrad, they just want to see your passion. You just have to say a lot about, when I was a child, I did this and I did that. That's why I found myself that I love science, things like that. So they really want to ensure that you're passionate about this, the subject that you are about to learn. But then for the PhD, as Ms. Chan said, that they are really looking for people who know themselves. So basically, you really need to take this as a job. So you have to dedicate your time and effort. So it's going to be a lot, and they don't want people to drop out, obviously. So they really want to make sure that you know what you're looking for. So what they would want you to put into the personal statement would be things like, okay, I did some experiments during my undergrad, and I found myself really like interested in labs, and I know that I can take the workload and things like that. They just want to make sure that you can take up the workload, and also they just want to make sure as well that the direction that you want to go with your PhD aligns with the PhD that you want to do. So for example, if you want to do finance, but then you want to do a PhD in biochemistry, that's not relevant, right? So they're not gonna give you a place. So yeah, they will ask you, I mean, you have to put that into a personal statement. And also if you get an interview, they would ask you what you want to do in the future, what kind of career. So it has to align with what you're going to do. Yeah.
I see. So basically, in order to make your application process a success when taking a PhD, you need to prove that you have the level of commitment that you want, and you also know why do you want to study PhD also, because to avoid people from dropping out midway. Right?
Yes, and you have to also know the project that you want to work on as well. It's not just like, okay, I want to do science and I apply for a science degree in undergrad. But for a PhD, you really need to know, okay, I want to develop a vaccine, for example. So you have to be very specific about what you want, because for some courses, you also have to write a research proposal. So that's going to be very specific. You need to know what you want to do, and you need to know how to do it. But for my case, I didn't have to write that, but my personal statement was really specific as well about what I wanted to do. Yeah.
I see. So being specific is the key. Like being specific as possible. Like, why do you want to take this PhD, and what are you going to do with it in the future, and how will it contribute to your future career goals?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And as a follow-up question, may I ask, why did you decide to study in the UK rather than other countries such as USA or Germany?
Thank you for the question. One of the reasons, because I knew that to study in Germany or Japan or other countries, to make my life easier, I need to learn the language. And I didn't have the time to learn the language, of course. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick the countries that use English, because at least my English at the time wasn't too bad. So it was gonna be easier to develop on that, because the undergrad degree is gonna be super difficult for me already. I can't just have the stress about my degree as well as having the stress about my daily life, because I can't speak the language, the local language. So yeah, that's so the choices were the US and the UK, and I like the UK better because it's more conservative in a sense. I don't like a lot of parties and things like that, and that's like a perception that I have for the US. It's more fun, it's more like lively, things like that, but the UK is more conservative, and yeah, and I just like the country. It's just a personal reason, really.
I see.
But yeah. Sorry, yeah. One thing I just want to add, maybe you have to check like the environment of the country that you want to go as well. Because in the US, I'm not sure if it's gonna be the same in the UK, but I hope not. Because in the UK, it's very dark. Most of the time of the year, it's gonna be super dim and dark. It rains all the time. So for some people, they don't like that and they cannot cope with that, and then they get depressed because of the weather. So maybe you might think that the weather is not important. But in fact, it is very important because it affects your mood. So maybe it might be worth to maybe go to that country and see if you like it or not, because you will have to stay in that country for undergrad. That's going to take 3 years. PhD, that's going to take 3 years as well. And you don't want to waking up, getting stressed every day because of just the weather, because you have to get stressed with your project and your study already. Yeah, maybe check, the people as well, the food, the environment, and also the culture. Yeah, all those things to ensure that you're going to be able to survive and be happy in those countries.
I see. Thank you so much, Ms. Irma. Now I will ask last one question for both Ms. Irma and Ms. Chan. I would like to ask, what are your advice on students who want to study in UK but they do not have enough confidence to apply, or they just like have many doubts before applying to study abroad in UK? What are your advice, and what are the things that you wish that you have known or wish that someone has said to you before you started your PhD journey?
Maybe Miss Chan can start first.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear the first question. I heard the last one was my what I wish to know.
The first question is that what are your advice for students who have lack of confidence or have many doubts in themselves?
Okay.
Yeah, but they are interested to studying in UK.
Yeah. To be honest, I had low self-esteem, low confidence, and I had social anxiety. But the only way to overcome this is to put yourself out there. So expose yourself to this environment. In the beginning, because we learned American English, when I first came to the UK, I couldn't understand a lot of things that British people said. But then as you put yourself in those difficult situations, you learn, you grow. And so it's okay. Now you don't have much confidence, but as you put the effort and do the hard work, you will grow and you will be more confident. And the things that I wish I know before I started my PhD was that, yeah, take it seriously. Love what you do. It's difficult because it's normal and we get bored at things if we have to face it every day. And try to relax, go on holidays. Some people, they will study almost 24/7, but it's really important to take some rest as well and not to stress out. For me, in the past, I would be like, oh, I'm stressing out, but I don't want to rest. So I'm just, I can't relax, but I'm not doing anything as well. So I just spend all my time worrying about things. But actually, when you calm down and relax and take some rest and not think about the work, you will find yourself more productive. Yes.
I see. Thank you so much, Ms. Chan. I believe that even though we feel very afraid, or feel like doubting ourselves before applying to abroad, especially in the UK, we just need to apply it anyway. Like, just do it. Even if you're afraid, just do it, because you might not regret the choice and be really happy about it. And the lesson, yeah, and I totally agree that we should not push ourselves too much, right, until we totally cannot do work. We cannot let ourselves burn out, especially during our PhD, because we really need to have a healthy mind, healthy spirit, healthy body. So I think this also can apply to all students out there that who feel burnout. So just have a break a little bit. The work will always have, like, they will always be with us, the work, but like our life is only one, so we need to take care of ourselves. And how about Miss Irma? What are your advice and what are the lessons that you have learned?
Yeah, okay. So for my advice, it's the same as Miss Chan, just do it, because you're not gonna lose anything. The worst case is that you're not gonna get what you are applying for, but that's the worst case. But then if you don't do it, then it's guaranteed that you're not gonna get it. So you're not losing when you're trying. So just do it. And also, if you don't have the confidence, maybe it would be great to ask the seniors that have been there before, ask them what they have done, and also maybe break it down into steps that you have to take. Because saying about applying for the UK, you would go, oh, okay, this is so difficult. But if you break it down, oh, okay, I have to fill out the application form. I don't know how to do that. Then reach out to the university or find people who know about it. You have to write the personal statement. You don't know how to do it. Yeah, find people who know how to do it. And maybe there might be even some people who are happy to look at your personal statement. Just break it down, because sometimes we freak out about things that if you break it down, it's gonna be all right, you know, like fix it step by step. And also the thing that I wish I knew before was that support is everywhere. You just have to reach out to it. So when I first came to the UK, I was like, okay, I need to survive this myself. I was super stressed about my study. I studied all the time. I didn't take a break during the Christmas or Easter, and my grade was really horrible. And I felt super down because I didn't take a break. I didn't do anything. So it was just me, putting pressure on myself. But the second year I did better. So if I don't understand any lesson, I would reach out to the professor, asking them, oh, if you could repeat this again, or maybe explain this to me. And most of the time they are happy to explain it to you because they also want to help, you know. So yeah, I started to do that. And also there were some talks and events that were provided by Imperial. So I started to join those events as well. And I was like, okay, why didn't I know about this in first year? Because first year I was just sitting in my room, stressing out alone. But then in second year, I was talking to a lot of people and then using the resources that universities provide to me. So yeah, maybe it would be great if you could check out the resources that your universities provide, because you have already paid so much. You have to use the resources to the best. Yeah.
I would like to add one thing. There is the university, they have a lot of support. For example, mental health and students' well-being and learning disability. So yeah, if you set up a meeting with them, they will do some assessment with you, and then they will develop a plan and they will support you when they can. So
yeah, I agree. And one thing to add, just see it this way: the university, they need your money, so they need you. So if you have any questions, anything you need, just reach out to them. You are the person who is paying them money, you know. Don't look at it like, okay, am I gonna get accepted and things like that. Just reach out to them.
Let me see. Yeah, like because since we have like paid quite a lot, I think we need to really utilize all of the resources that have been provided in the university. And also, I also agree that we need to have a mentor, like at least someone that we can ask for guidance when we make the preparation to study abroad. And maybe later on, like both Ms. Surima and Ms. Chan can provide your email in the chat box, so our participants can reach out to both of you if they are interested. And also, I will now proceed to also the last question to Mr. Adnan and Ms. Adil. On the same question as well, what are your advices on students who want to study in Germany? And what were the lessons that you have learned when studying there that you wish you have known before studying in Germany?
Adil, you can start.
Well, first, with pleasure, of course, Adnan, no problem. Well, take the first step. If you need the visa to come to Germany, apply for it. Learn about the country. Try to learn the language as well. It's very helpful. Come to Germany. When you come into Germany, so there are going to be challenges you're going to face. Simply as both Shiran and the others mentioned, trust in yourself and take the first step. Also, try to solve these issues, challenges by yourself. If you find it difficult, there are all the times friends, their seniors, university. You find also departments for students committee, like students committee, something like that. You find at each university, you go there, ask for help, support. Then they will do it. They will help you and support you. Yes, these are the most important things. And especially second point I would like to mention and emphasize is that once finishing your studies, either bachelor degree, master or PhD, you will get this 18 months to search for a job here in Germany. Be active searching for jobs. There are two persons here. I'll give you example. One wants to work and the second person wants also to work. So the first one submits only one CV, 2 CVs per day. The other one submitted is actively searching, the same as the first person, but submitted 10 CVs at least per day. So here the comparison is that if you want to stay here to get experience companies here in Germany, if you want to settle in Germany, so be actively searching for jobs, because companies are not going to come and knock on your doors. That's what many students students' mistakes too. This my experience. Classmates I meet, they study with me. Companies are going to come. They're not going to come and knock your door. Be actively searching. If others submitting 10 CVs per day, do 20 CVs per day when you're finishing your study. So that's the most important things. There are also all the times ups and downs. So you will not find it that easy, but you are going to rely on yourself. That's the beauty. Yes, the beauty thing here in Germany, or I think anywhere in the world. If then you will be alone. You're going to see. You are going to understand yourself. How you are going to feel when you're facing challenges. How you're going to solve these kind of challenges. Then you can learn from them. You can learn from these challenges, mistakes you do. You're going to learn from them in order for the purpose of improving yourself. At the end, I would like to mention that studying abroad in general, or here in Germany, is really a nice and yes, it's a nice experience. You're going to learn really a lot of things, and just take the first step, as I mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adil. How about Mr. Anand? Do you have anything to add?
Actually, I agree with Adil. I support everybody to go study abroad, because study abroad not about to get like a degree from Germany or UK. Is much more than that. You learn a lot of things. You become more mature, because in your country you have everything. You have your family, but when you go study abroad, you'll be alone. I know that at the beginning you feel boring. It's not your country, the culture. Then sometimes even if the weather, that like Serimar mentioned. Especially in the winter in Germany and the UK, you feel like the darkness start to become a 3 or 4. It's already day gone and so cold, and you cannot go out. And also, like, don't stress yourself with. It's good to study well, but don't push yourself until the limit. Like you don't sleep. Actually, I'm not like Shan. Maybe I'm not really hardworking or hard student, but I just like. When it's time to sleep, I just go to sleep, and maybe try to wake up early and study a bit. But it's good to focus about your study, but don't affect yourself, because mentally, if you are not good, you cannot get a good marks or pass your exam. And also, if you fail in exam, it's not at the end of the world. So you can maybe retake it again. I know it's difficult, it's stressful, but just like make your best and enjoy your life. When you go to study abroad, you go study in Europe, especially like from Asian countries, you can visit many countries. Sometimes with just like low budget, you can go with maybe a Ryanair or something like 50 euro, you can go visit another country. So take a chance to do it, and also create a network and connection with other peoples from different cultures, different countries is really good. Actually, you're going to develop your language, your culture, and also you will not feel boring or lonely in this country. You will have some friends, some classmates, like you can go out together and study. Apart from that, Germany actually is a good country. Maybe for people who have good money and looking for high rank in university, of course, UK and US are the best. But for people low budget, I advise you to go Germany. The tuition fees is really low. You can study in English. Maybe some university they can even offer French courses. Adil maybe will clarify this, especially for the west part that near to France. Maybe some courses in French language, but English. There are a lot of university. The majority of university they have English courses programs, so you can go and study in English. It's good to learn the language, especially after your graduate, to find a job. Is not a must, but you can find like 80% of jobs they require German and English. So maybe 20% they find like only in English. You can work 100% in English. Me actually, from my experience after study, I apply many jobs. I find one actually at the end to work with the IT company that 100% we use in English for working. It's a good chance also to work abroad, to have experience of working. And also I advise people, even if internship, just go for it, because practice is really necessary with the theory that you study in your university. So I advise people to, and don't care if they're gonna reject your application or something like that, just apply as Aziz said, maybe 10 or for me, actually, at the beginning, I feel sad, they reject me and I try to read all the email. After that, I don't care about the email, actually, just deleted them, don't care. Next, apply for next, until you have a job, you have a chance. I know that today is difficult for fresh graduate students to have a job. For that, like I advise them, go for internship, don't care about the salary at the beginning, just take the experience. After that, you can, the salary and the good job, good position, good title will come at the end, actually.
There is one point I would like to mention here as well regarding internships. You mentioned Adnan. When you are studying, your studies focus on finding internships because it's going to help you a lot after graduation in terms of experience, especially. The other thing is that, for example, if you are studying bachelor, then you have like, let's say, 3 years, some spend even more, 4 or 5 years. So during this period of time, focus, for example, first year, focus on internship. For instance, it depends on the branch you are studying. Let's say you are studying Master Business Administration. So first semester focus, for example, on internship related to supply chain, for example, logistics, this area. Okay, and second semester focus, for example, on finding internship in HR, for instance, and so on. Third and fourth focus also on other areas. Why? For the purpose, so because during this period of internships, you are going to discover the area you are going to enjoy working a lot in after graduation, so that for the purpose after graduation, you will not lose time in finding internship. So the reason behind that, so after graduation, you will know directly to which area you're going to work in, and you are going to enjoy a lot, and you are which area, which branch you are going to keep applying and focus a lot in finding a job. So that's the most important thing. Students, if you want to come here and study, I think everywhere in the world. So focus on internships during your studies. That's very important. And take it easy. Don't stress yourself. Practice sport is very helpful.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adnan and Ms. Adil. Yeah, of course we should not burn ourselves down, and then we also should need to seek internship experiences, especially when we study abroad. Not only because it helps us to gain more perspective on what types of career that we want to focus on in the future, but it also allows us to build more network. Like for instance, if we want to have a job after we graduate, maybe we can reach out to the people that we have known during the internship and maybe ask them for a job. And I agree. I think.
And I just want to mention something for the host. It's better to let our participant to ask some question to us directly. If anybody has any question on YouTube channel, and also here, they can ask us. I don't know if the participant, they can ask us questions. I just ask you to give them the right to ask questions, and also on the YouTube channel. And also I want to mention that Shan, she has a YouTube channel. Please follow her. She can give you a lot of advices actually, and she has a big experience, and especially in motivation, and she will be useful for you actually. Just follow her. We can put her channel on our YouTube channel, and also in our LinkedIn, because we have a lot of participants. Maybe they cannot participate with us, maybe because of time zone or something like that. So just like I ask you to let people to ask questions, and we can answer all the questions that here.
I see. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Adnan. All right. For participants, if you have any question, then just go directly to QK. And it's so interesting because I never know that Miss Shan has a YouTube channel. So definitely later we will binge watch your videos. Right,
yeah,
now we will
actually, it's going to be useful.
Yeah. Now we will proceed to the Q&A session.
Yeah.
I think we have the first question from Miss Yun. Hello, can I know about the job opportunities after study in UK? I think this question will need to be direct to either Miss Shan or Miss Sirma.
Do you want to go first, Sirma?
Yeah, thank you. So about job opportunities, I'm not exactly sure because I haven't applied for a job in the UK yet. But then it's the same as in Germany that you can ask for a visa after you graduate as well. I'm not sure how long that's gonna last. Probably like a year. Does Miss Chan know about it? Like how long is it?
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's a PSW, post-study work visa for
Yeah.
undergraduate and master students. It's 2 years.
Mm.
And for PhD students, 3 years after you finish your studies.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So yeah, that's quite long, and during that time you can look for a job. But what most of my friends do would be before you actually graduate, you should actually look for a job already, because it's going to be very competitive at the end, you know, and then job applications, they open at different times and then they close at different times as well. So yeah, maybe it would be great if you can start early, and so that you can live off your concern about job opportunity. And also a good way to look for jobs would be LinkedIn. Of course, you can search for the country that you want to work in. If you want to work in the UK, you can search for that. You can put the keywords about things that you want to work on as well. So yeah, that's pretty much from me.
Yeah, and it's also important to take internships if you want to find a job after you finish your studies. And yeah, some big companies, like some big consulting companies, it's very competitive if you're applying for those big companies. And yeah, prepare beforehand. And also there's a lot of other visas, other types of visas. For example, innovator, I think, entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
about entrepreneurship. You can start your own business. I think in both the UK and Germany, very good place to start your business, because they have a very mature legal environment and good infrastructures. Yeah. And lots of opportunities.
Yeah, I agree. And another thing to add on top of that, you could also, I think it's going to be great if you could look for an internship before you graduate, maybe in your first year or second year, working with other companies, because after you have already graduated, you could also reach out to them and they might offer you a job as well. So yeah, that's another thing that you could do during your study. You don't have to wait for your last year to start applying for a job. You can even do that earlier.
And if you want to get a job in academia, it's important that you publish some papers during your PhD. Yeah.
I see. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Irma and Ms. Chan, for answering your question. Is there anyone else that would like to ask question? Because we will proceed to the closing ceremony by 11:20 p.m. So if you have any questions, you may either unmute yourself or type it down on the chat.
I just want to add something. Maybe I'm not sure if all the participants, they can ask questions or not, but regarding also that, I think that after study or after graduate from a university, for a student or an international student, yeah, it's good, the idea of open your new startup or business, but the problem that face is the budget, because you're opening a business, you need a investment or you need a budget. So this is going to be a bit critical things, but also like for me, I advise we have, I think maybe Adil can share with us this one of classmates that he opened his business after study, but also like at the beginning it's better to have some experience before you open your own business. It's better to work some companies to have experience in your field, but if you have a nice idea, also support people who want to open their own business.
See, thank you so much, Mr. Anin, for your advice before opening a business.
Yeah, I have something to add on that, because I've been in the startup field as well, especially in the UK. So if you have an idea, of course, you have to have some skills and some experience as well to run the make the idea become a successful business. But for the UK, what is good about it is that there's a lot of funding. You can apply for, you can search a job. It depends on the startup that you are creating. So for example, if it's related to sustainability, there might be some UK organizations who are willing to support you on the idea. And also you could also reach out to some funding from the US and from other countries as well. So those are accelerators or VC, venture capitalists. So yeah, you can reach out to those. They're gonna provide you with some funding if your idea is interesting enough.
I see. Ms. Sirma, may I ask, like, since you have a startup in the UK, how do you manage like this startup as well as your education PhD program? Like, how do you balance the time between handling your startup and your education?
Yeah, thanks for that question. So I don't like doing one thing at a time, which is quite, I don't know why, but yeah, I need to, during my study, I always have something else to do along my study. And in my third year, I didn't have anything else to do. And because I really love business and I feel like I love science, of course, I love research, but then to publish something and to make something work through the academia route, it takes ages for people to approve that, for things to get published and things like that. But if you have a great idea and you have already proved that it's going to work, a startup, it's like another way that you can bring the product to life even faster. That's why I started to bring my idea to life. So my idea was to transform banana trees into a natural preservative. So if you dip green bananas into it, the green bananas will stay green longer. So I had this idea because my parents, they own a banana farm, so I'm familiar with it. And during my study, what I did was I did some market research, and then I worked with some consultants as well. And also I did some small experiments at home. But then I didn't, didn't really get too much, I didn't stress out too much about it. So I had to prioritize, of course, I had to finish my study. So at the time I was prioritizing that. But when I have more free time, I would run some experiments at home and also do some research on my own and reach out for help if I need it. So yeah, I guess it's about priority. If you love doing a lot of things, it works, but you have to have things on your list and you have to have the order of priority. So you know which one you have to focus first. And if you have more time, then you focus on the next point. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sirma, for answering. Yeah, if we really have a... Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to mention that I had a chance to work with Sirma. She's really a creative person. And I advise everybody to follow her. She has a really nice project. Just support her. She really deserves that.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree. Please follow Ms. Sirma and Ms. Shan LinkedIn in the chat box below. Since there is no question yet from other participants, I think I would like to ask more questions. I think Mr. Adil have left the meeting, but it's okay. I would like to ask, as a foreign student studying abroad, is the competition are more challenging, like because we need to compete with the local to get the internship as well as the job. Then how do we make ourselves stand out when seeking for an internship or a job? I will direct this question to all of this.
Okay, I can start. Actually, for me, to be in another country, as long as you speak the local language, you will have some plus, even if from the language, from anything. Because, for example, like if you go to Germany and you speak in German language and you speak English, maybe French, maybe Chinese, maybe Thai language, you will have something plus that they don't have. Plus that, the UK or Germany is a big, huge market. There are a lot of international companies. So you will have chance to have a job, but just like at the beginning, as we said, that it's better to step by step, maybe internship, maybe at the beginning start with a small company, then you can grow up. Actually, it's not easy, but there is a big chance actually for everybody. There are a lot of opportunity. So just I advise people, language is really important, skills is really important, but just like apply. I'm sure that you will have chance.
Thank you.
Yes,
Mr.
and one point I would like to add here, Diana, please, and regarding opportunities, for example, here in Germany, if it doesn't work for finding internships or job after graduation, you need plan A doesn't work, plan B doesn't work, you must have all the time, or it's better to have plan C, for example. So why not thinking of establishing own business? So this is also a good idea, I think, in my opinion, which based on my experience, so many students after don't think about it at all. So most go and think of once I get my bachelor or master's degree in general, I will find a job. Related. It's not 100% sure you are going to get a job, because it depends on many factors. Depends on the branch you study. It depends on the economic situation. If there is a recovery, there is a recession or something like that, like now COVID. So fresh students, so fresh graduated, I mean here, due to the current situation, they couldn't find, let's say, a job due to the COVID. So in general, one must have bear in mind that must have also other plans. If plan A, plan B doesn't work, plan C, maybe it will work with it. Establishing a business also a good idea as well.
Yeah, I agree. And something to add on top of that, then it might be also like a good idea to have plan B, as in if I cannot get a job in the UK, then I can come back to Thailand and work in Thailand for a few years and then go back later, things like that. So yeah, you definitely have to have some backup plans. And also I would say that if you are still early on in your study journey, as in like first year or second year, just do as much internship and get as much experience as you can, because I don't really care about that. Okay, I'm not a local person, and it's going to be more difficult for me. I don't put that limit on myself, so I would do anything that I can, if I can, like as much as I can, just to prepare myself and just keep on working and working. If in the end I cannot get a job, then it's fine, I come back to Thailand. But don't limit yourself that, okay, I'm not British, so it's going to be difficult for me to find a job, because that thinking is going to really limit yourself. So yeah, I think thinking, the way of thinking is really important in this case as well. Thank you.
Yeah. This may be slightly off the topic, but in terms of competing with British people or local people, one thing is maybe some people will think about racism and stuff, but from my experience, that when we look at this thing, we don't need to assume that they're racist, because sometimes it's the cultural difference. Sometimes they may give us some weird look because of our behavior, not because of their racism. Most people I have met, they are really good people, especially the British people. They're really nice, really friendly and open-minded. I gain more confidence in this country than back home. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shan and all these speakers.
I just want to add something regarding to what Shan mentioned. Actually, is really important, because sometimes we shouldn't think about racism, that we are foreigner, we are from this country or this religion. If you think about that, maybe any action you're gonna consider as a racism to me or something like that. So just don't think about that, be optimist. You go for enjoying, for study, for taking experience. So just take it easy and don't care much. Actually, even if somebody says something, just take it as a joke or something like that. But if we are thinking about that, anything we're gonna relate it to racism. Maybe I don't have chance, maybe they don't choose me because I am from this country, I'm not local. So just don't think about that, be optimist. Maybe this, okay, they don't choose me, maybe next. Just don't think about that, actually.
Yeah, some companies, they look for your unique experience in another country. So if you know another language, your way of thinking is different than local people. So you bring something unique to the organization that will add value.
I see. Thank you so much, Miss Shan, Mr. Adnan, Mr. Adil, and Ms. Irma for your advice on how we can stand out as compared to the local, which is we need to put a limit on ourselves, and we need to just be ourselves and believe in our own uniqueness, because we will not be able to study abroad if they don't see a uniqueness in us, right? So we already need it at there. So just put trust in yourself and just apply to the job anyway. And I think since the time is running out, we will end the Q&A session here, and we will have a photo taking session. So if
I just want to mention something. I just want to thank all of you to be here today. And just like maybe today we have a problem with the comment in YouTube and also on Zoom, actually because we are waiting for 300 people, but maybe there is a problem for that. So I'm just like want to say sorry for people who cannot join us today. And maybe we can have another chance with all of you guys to have another session with also we can have the opportunity to answer also people's questions. So yeah. Diana, thank you so much. And okay, Diana.
all right. Can we have the participants to turn on their camera? I will give like in 2 minutes.
Maybe actually also the problem of the camera, because not only the speaker that they can have this option, because for that like today is was a bit like confusing, especially with the Zoom and the linking of YouTube. So it's a bit confusing today because a lot of people actually they want to join, but they cannot. But it's okay. Just maybe we can just 5 of us actually.
All right. Okay, we will take the picture now. I will count in 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. Smile. All right. Thank you so much to our speakers and our participants for today. And with that, that marks the end of our study webinar from QT Language Center. And with that, we will end this webinar today. To our participants, you may leave the meeting room now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.